Magical Thinking Barbie. I would like to talk today about basic income. Just full disclosure, at one point I was really behind basic income. However, since now we are in an abrupt climate change, I think that basic income is more about the growth paradigm, which we cannot afford. So, I believe we should have basic needs met. And with this, we would have banks, major banks, get together and figure out how to pay off mortgages, to make it available for people to have shelter that is just available for free. I think that would be a better use of checks being sent out because then people wouldn't have to worry about their shelter. And then once that's figured out, we can work on, basic food, or maybe the next thing actually would be basic, health care for everyone. Because at this point with abrupt climate change, what we're seeing is the growth paradigm is what needs to be changed. The idea that we can have economic growth on a finite planet is just not possible. So when you are sending out checks for $1,000 or $500, you're still encouraging the growth paradigm, because what could happen with these checks is that people will get them. They'll use the money for, yes, maybe their rent or their mortgage, but then there'll be gaps in the basic needs. For example, they spend the money on, let's say, their rent or their mortgage, but then they find that they still don't have the money for realizing that they have cancer, or there's a pandemic that's not seen quite yet, and they get sick and they die, and so that just keeps going forward, and people don't have the money to get to the hospital in time, and so a pandemic just starts, and we don't have the money for health care. So this is what we need to look at critically. And the other thing is, a lot of our work is just redundant. It's part, again, of the growth paradigm. What do people need to be educated in? We could have some more nuclear physicists, right? If we have nuclear plants that are melting down, we could use a lot more people that know about, nuclear physics. We could have more people in healthcare. We could have more people in, sustainable agriculture. There's some jobs we could do without, and they are definitely entrenched in the growth paradigm. So, I feel like we're trying, there's an effort, that's great that Chicago is, going to make an effort to help people in that way. However, I think if they wanted to move quickly to solve several issues, they would do basic needs met instead of basic income, because it just perpetuates the growth paradigm.